You're listening to the audio production of The Garden Within, where the war with your emotions ends and your most powerful life begins. By Dr. Anita Phillips, published by Thomas Nelson, and read by the author. Foreword read by Sarah Jakes Roberts.
Dedication for Valerie.
Foreword by Sarah Jakes Roberts. Dr. Anita Phillips and I occupied the same space at countless dinner parties and navigated several backstage halls, but we never shared more than a polite smile and quick salutation. I can't even pinpoint when we went from two ships passing in a green room to colleagues, friends, and finally, sisters. All I know for sure is that I intentionally keep my circle small, but by divine providence, it expanded before I knew it, and frankly, without my permission. God knew the only way to get past my guards was to catch me by surprise. It might help for you to get to know me a bit before diving into how I became so guarded in the first place. I never felt that I had faith like Sarah, courage like Ruth, wisdom like Esther, or obedience like Mary. These heroines of biblical virtue felt so far from who I was that oceans could have separated us. I grew up in church but never admitted that I felt out of touch. Of course, anyone observing my life's trajectory could see it clear as day. I felt safer in the back corner of a room than standing in front where all could see me. My desire to stay off the grid was not a result of my teenage pregnancy at 13. I was isolating long before then because I was battling so much internally. I was confused, lost, angry, and lonely. I wanted to feel better, and I wasn't convinced that the solution could be found in the pews. Only after a few heartbreaks, a run-in with the police, and a divorce did I learn that the streets weren't offering much peace either. Surrendering was my only option, and that's what I did. I decided to make my relationship with God less about fitting in at a church and more about discovering the man behind the testimonies. It was the wisest thing I ever did. I became so convinced of God's grace, love, and strategy for us all that I wanted to tell every person I could. At first, this was through a blog, then a book. Eventually, I communicated my message through speaking, and from there, it evolved into a movement. I decided the only way to convince a generation about God's grace was to be honest about my mistakes. I bore my truth. This honesty.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?